Stores as far inland as the Triangle have been reporting long lines and reduced supplies as people rush to prepare.
We're starting to run kind of low on that, yeah. I've got like 6 cases of bottles left. All my little bottles are gone.
Hurricane Florence.
Hurricane Florence.
Hurricane Florence, now a Category 4 storm within the last few minutes, barreling towards the East Coast.
Get out of the way. This is a monster storm.
It is currently September 11th, 2018, and just to be safe, just in case, we're gonna run into Target to get some water. Hopefully. Holy crap! There's none. There's no bread. No bread. Yeah, I think we missed our chance of getting any new stuff. Gonna have to make do. It is September 12th. Florence hits tomorrow. Now thankfully my family is very fortunate in that we are far enough inland where evacuation isn't a major concern. Here it's more about a loss of power and water. I have every available USB port in this whole flippin' house charging either a phone, a backup phone, a portable battery power, or in so many flippin' camera batteries. Water preparations are underway.
Well, you want water?
We got plenty.
It begins after days of warnings and more than 1 million evacuated the Carolina coast are now feeling the first bans, just the first inkling. What could be the worst storm to hit this area in almost 30 years. This is a huge, huge storm.
Hurricane Florence has been downgraded to a Category 2 storm, but officials warn it's still deadly.
This monster hurricane now closes in with winds up to 120 miles an hour.
All right, here it comes. It's just starting to hit the coast right now. It actually shouldn't really get to us here in Raleigh until late tonight, tomorrow morning. So we have a little bit longer, but the devastation has already begun.
The effects of Florence are getting worse by the minute, just hours before she makes landfall. Tens of thousands of homes and businesses have already lost power. That number could climb into the millions.
The weirdest thing is watching places that you know and love on national television getting destroyed, basically. Like literally earlier in this trip out to the East Coast, we went on a family vacation and walked down the very streets that I'm now seeing basically obliterated.
And here's a live look now at Wilmington, North Carolina. Again, lots of flooding in this waterfront area that we have been looking at, but could things get even worse?
So you remember what I said about the biggest danger here where we are isn't like the actual storm as much as just the water? Well, this is the little creek behind the house. Freaking cool. Although I probably should say like it's really cool to us because this is pretty much the extent of what we're gonna get. to those in the path or that were in the path of the hurricane, it's significantly worse. And
Florence raging ashore before dawn. Hurricane-force winds turning debris into projectiles, driving rain, flooding streets, and in New Bern, North Carolina, a 10-foot storm surge submerging cars and trapping hundreds in their homes.
well, this morning I woke up to blue skies and sunshine, which normally is like a good thing, but not when you're trying to conclude a video about a giant frickin' hurricane, which I guess is now over, at least here. See, originally the projected path for Florence was directly through Raleigh, and I was like, ooh, that's gonna make for a great video, so I started making this, and here we are 4 days later, and it's just gonna go around us. Shoot. But on the other hand, I can't do this. You know, I can't make a video like, oh, how disappointing. Because for people that live a few hours that way, this has cost them everything. You know, right now, 5 people have died. So I can't make a joke out of this. And I was actually talking with my mother about this earlier. And she brought up a really good point that, you know, these kind of tragedies, these horrible, horrible disasters, we look around and we're like, oh, how can we like help someone? Like when you see somebody in pain or in need, it's like instinctual in the human spirit to help. You know, regardless, you don't even take into consideration the person's like anything about them. It's just human. I need to help another human. It's that human connection. But the thing is, there seems to be like a threshold of suffering where we start paying attention to other people, like to doing that. Why? There are horrible, horrible, devastating tragedies going on to individuals around us all of the time. And we should have the same response that we do in these disasters to help that we do to people without the disasters, the external disasters. So I guess that's my conclusion for this video. Is this is freaking somber. Yeah. To people who are still in the path of this hurricane, or I guess tropical storm as it is now, stay safe.